Okay. I think people are saying it's fine. People are saying it's fine. So let's start off. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están, boys? Here. And my goodness, this game, 4-0, Barcelona versus Villarreal. I was not expecting to see this sort of performance from the get-go. I thought it was going to be taking a little bit more to adjust for Koeman to put its tactics, onto our players. And to be completely honest, the transition from a 4-3-3 to this 4-2-3-1 with the kind of front four just interchanging positions, or mainly, Coutinho, Griezmann, and Ansu Fati, worked out perfectly. It really, really worked out to be one of the most entertaining games I've seen of Barcelona in a while. And that comes with us, playing shit before the coronavirus break and even after. So yeah. People are still saying to increase the volume a little bit. I can continue to increase the volume, but I mean, it could kind of get a little bit loud. I'm not too sure. What about there? Let me know, Anita Wilson. So far, I'm going to be pulling up right now. I want to go with my notes here that I've recorded. And as you know, guys, like we do here, we're going to be starting off by taking a look at the main talking points of the game. And then we can just discuss it, lay back with all of us together, just enjoying ourselves. So first of all, I want to see how you guys are doing. What are you thinking of the game, your initial reactions? Mokhtar is saying, what a balanced performance. Honestly, didn't see that for a time now. Jeff Palacios, hello, how are you doing? Carl Christian, all right. Sean J.C. Carter, my good, is that your real name? If that's your real name, my goodness, that is a crazy name. Roberto was super perfect. Let's give credit where it's due. Literally no one. Fati, wow, great team performance, but nobody watched Busquets. Now this is perfect. We want Emerson, not Des. Pjanic was good. So mixed reactions in the sense of who we want for the transfer market, but unanimously everybody wants to play with. Everybody wants to play. Everybody is liking what we've seen. I just want to start off then by saying that the first half for me was just such a good taste of football again, because we normally, we play this 4-3-3, and now with this 2-4-4, which is in attack, because let's remember that we are normally playing a 4-2-3-1. In attack, we go for a 2-4-4. It's just amazing to see how Jordi Alba and Sergio Roberto incorporates into that midfield. We have the double pivot of De Jong and Busquets, which Busquets, we need to talk about him because he looks past it completely. We're talking about a guy here that has been giving us a lot in the past few years, but playing as a CDM in this double pivot, he just simply doesn't cut it. Busquets was not playing good whatsoever. Coutinho, Griezmann were interchanging positions, crazy good. Ansu Fati was sticking to the left, and Messi as the false nine, and it was all working very perfectly. It was really, really working like that. I have to admit that Koeman got it perfect in this game. The players that started are the players that should continue to start like this for the next game, except for Busquets. Busquets is the player that, for me, needs to change from the get-go. Senai Ogbasgi, which I hopefully didn't kill just your name. De Jong was lacking. Yes, Frankie De Jong was very interesting in this game, because we know that there's been this certain talk about him just trying to come into the fold and be this new main player for Barcelona in the CDM position, be the double pivot. But in reality, he was just, I think, kind of succumbed to the pressure a little bit, because he lost the ball in very underwhelming areas, especially very, very close to our own area. And that left it very exposed. I don't know if it's a problem with his confidence, a problem where he doesn't know exactly who to pass, or he doesn't find the kind of player that he needs to link it up with in a good position. But he lost the ball like 3 times in today's game. And that is something that you do not see normally with Frankie de Jong. And that's worrying, especially because you want this player to come in with this huge performance in his very first game as kind of like the new pillar for this Ronald Koeman side. And he wasn't that. He didn't give us that, and it's underwhelming. It really, really is underwhelming. Jordan Rosenbull said, Pjanic is quality, he defends well and picks up great passes. I want to stick onwards to that, because when Pjanic came into the second half, we saw how Miralem Pjanic just gave us this edge that Busquets wasn't giving us. Busquets, in his normal kind of good part of the game, which is associated and thinking forward, he was kind of weak. He was kind of bad. But then when we're talking about Pjanic coming in, he gave us all of that Busquets gave us, plus a little bit of movement that Busquets simply just doesn't do that anymore. Let's be honest. He's an old player. He doesn't cover the spaces that he used to. And what I like from Pjanic is that He doesn't only cover up the spaces, but he kind of pressures the player in front. He goes there, he pressures, he goes to, I remember this in the last few minutes, it was around the 88th minutes, I believe, where we have that shot from Trincao and Messi, and the guy who originally won that ball was Pjanic because of the pressing, and that is good to see. That is what we want from our midfielders. That's what you want in a Barcelona midfield. A lot of the defending in a team like this, it isn't done with the center backs, it's done with the midfielders because they help to, once again, reduce the spaces so that then the other opposition, in this case Villarreal, are not as free-flowing in attack. And that is something that, sorry about that, and that is something that Pjanic just did perfectly. He was really, really good in this game. When he came in, I just cannot say anymore, I cannot back Busquets to start the next game. I simply cannot. Busquets is a player that continuously showing to have the lack of intensity that other players are giving us in our squad. And Busquets needs to be benched. I really do believe that Busquets needs to be benched for the next game. I guess that we should talk then about the next big thing, and that is Ansu Fati. You're talking about Luis Suarez, some of you right now. Help me get at 10,000 subs without only one video. He's saying, can you talk about Fati? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Fati, I guess that we're going to talk about Fati, if that's what you want, because that's what I was thinking we should do as well. Ansu Fati was absolutely incredible. The thing about Ansu Fati, that in contrast to other players that could have come in, for instance, like Dembele, is that if you start Dembele, he has this worry about, he has this thing that he doesn't know where he needs to shoot or not, because he, of course, feels the eyes of everyone's watching him. In Ansu Fati, Fati doesn't have that pressure. And every single chance that he got, he shot, or at least he tried to make something out of it. And that is something that Ansu Fati is going to give us still at the age of 17. And that's something that you cannot compare to any other player out there. I really just felt this huge refresh to the side when Ansu Fati was here. Ansu Fati played the 2 goals. The very first one was an amazing piece of skill, and the second one was a great assist picked out by Messi, I believe. And then he just puts it back into the past Asenjo. And once again, Ansu Fati was incredible. He was really, really good. My goodness. I cannot stress how much I believe Ansu Fati is going to take this game forward. I believe what made me change, for instance, was when I saw Ansu Fati play with Spain. I believe that then we were seeing the making of a star. I really do believe that was the turning point for me, because he wasn't only doing it at club level, he was also doing it at Spain. And now coming into Barcelona, he is going to be that main starter. I think Dembele is going to suffer a lot. Dembele was thinking, perhaps this could be my season, but he's going to be having to battle it out with Ansu Fati. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially because he's younger and he doesn't have the pressure. Because every single person in Barcelona is going to be backing Ansu Fati, whilst Dembele already has some certain haters. And that is going to be bad for him. That's going to be really, really bad. Anakin, Anaki Shen is saying, there were a lot of times where Roberto, did not try to send Griezmann through when he tried to make a run. I think the 2 fullbacks and Busquets is our weak link. I think the fullbacks were okay, and I'm going to reinforce that, saying with Eminex Jr. is saying Jordi Alba was a beast. And I do agree there. I think Jordi Alba was incredible. I was a little bit worried about whether Koeman was going to be able to get the best out of Jordi Alba. But in reality, if you compare him, Jordi Alba, to Busquets and see, for instance, who of them is more done, per se, Jordi Alba is nowhere near that end point of his career. He still provided in this game amazing quality and was given the man of the match. Jordi Alba was given the man of the match by La Liga in the very first game of Barcelona. And that is not an easy feat, especially with all of the talent that we have. It still shows you that Jordi Alba has quality in him. And I want to reinforce that for me, Jordi Alba is still very important. In the other hand, Sergio Roberto, Sergio Roberto was good. He was covering up the spaces good. He was tracking back. He was going forward. He was linking up play, but never really had that you were saying, Anaki. They were never kind of overlapping. They never had that understanding, because Griezmann is normally a player that is always going to be thinking of going into the center, while Roberto is going to be going through the flank. But since Griezmann cannot go to the center because he already has Coutinho and Messi playing in that area, Roberto finds himself not being able to be as free as going forward. That is where I hope someone like Sergio Des can hopefully find some extra view into this. And with that, we're going to need the support from Koeman to help him understand that part of his game. I think that Des could coming, which right now seems to be the player that Barca are going to sign for the right back position. It's 100% done according to Fabrizio Romano, and if that guy says it's done, it's basically done. So I'm going to believe that. If Dest is going to be coming in, then I have more hopes that the right back position will be safe for the next few years, the next few seasons. Perhaps not this year, but let's say in 2022, hopefully Dest is a starter and he will stay there for, who knows, many more years to come. Let me see what I have in my notes now. Okay, something that I read on Twitter, and you know what? Let's go to Twitter. Why not? Let's go to Twitter and see what people are saying about the game. Let me give me just 1 second. Oh my God, we see Inception. You see me there. Let's go to Twitter right now. And something that I saw that a lot of people were. Wait, what is this? Ansu Fati could not be chosen as man of the match because he's underage and the sponsors are a beer company. What? There's no way that's a thing. Is that actually the case? Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. If this is true, what Barca Universal here is saying is true, wow, it's gonna be incredible. It has to be crazy. You have to give it to him, even though the guy is 17, man. I mean, if you haven't drank at 17, what are you doing? but yeah, what was I was talking about? Yeah, the thing that surprised me about Villarreal is that people are saying that Villarreal were perhaps not the best, and that is why Barcelona was scoring so many goals. But in all honesty, I have to think that Unai Emery had a plan. You know, if you're the manager, you come here and you say, "Oh, I have this plan for oh, here you go, Unai Emery. Let's keep it here." If you're Unai Emery, you're giving a plan to your players. You know, you're saying, okay, Griezmann's going to be playing for the right, Coutinho's going to be playing for the middle, Messi's going to be the false nine, you're going to have Ansu Fati for the left. But what happens if then all of those players start changing positions and they do it so freely? I have to admit and say that could potentially ruin everyone's game plan. And that is what happened, in my opinion, to Villarreal. That is why in the first half, they were caught up with so much by surprise. Because Griezmann, Coutinho, and Messi were all constantly shifting positions. And that made it so difficult for Pedro Estupiñán, for Pau Torres, for Raúl Albiol, for all of those defenders from Villarreal to be kind of just in complete disarray. They didn't know who to mark, they didn't know who to cover, because, for instance, if I'm Pedro Estupiñán and they say, oh, you need to mark Griezmann, okay, I'm going to mark Griezmann. But then what happens if Coutinho comes over to my side? Do I then mark Griezmann or do I go with Coutinho? That is something that we were lacking previously with Quique Setién and with Valverde. Those teams of Barcelona were very static in their positions. This team with Koeman is not doing that. It's a team that is flowing and is changing positions, and that is what I like. In Trincao, in Dembélé, in Pedri, we have players, for instance, that can come off the bench and play either left mid, cam, or right mid. They can all play all those different positions. Before, it was like we had one striker and that's only it. One right winger and that's only it. That is why I believe also Koeman is looking for the signature of someone like Depay, because Depay is a forward that can do all of those jobs similarly as well. And that is simply what I have to say. I believe Barcelona need to be given credit because their way of playing today was impressive. What did Koeman say? Koeman, Fati is a young talent and we must help him preserve his consistency. Today he showed he had a bright future ahead of him. That's another thing. Playing Ansu Fati here has to be crucial because and seeing the way that we're going to develop with him, because you cannot give Ansu Fati, for instance, every single game and expect him to perform the way he's been doing. Of course, he's going to be having some bad games, but you cannot put him into the fold directly. I like that Koeman kind of understood that Ansu Fati needs to play, and then you take him out. That is what I like to see. That is something that for me it's good to see. It's good to see. Going back to the chat, let's see what some of you are saying. Diane Ama saying Dest is not a center back. Who said Dest is a center back? Serginho Dest is not a center back. He's a right winger. Sorry, not even a right winger. He's a right back. He's a right back. And he's not great defensively, like here Ayer Slayer said, the Slayer. He's not great defensively either. I made a research on Serginho Dest, actually, a video that's going to be coming up tomorrow, which is going to be a analysis on Serginho Dest. We're going to be talking about that. And I comment there how Dest is not also good defensively. It's a player that we're going to need to work very hard on, because he's not particularly a guy that I believe we can just give the right back position straight away. No, he needs to mature into that position. He needs to grow into that position. And that is why we need time with Serginho Dest. So let's hope that actually he will get that time now under Koeman and under Xavi or whoever comes next. What else? Mikel Lutigin saying, what do you think is the reason of the worst performance of Dani Parejo playing for Real compared to Valencia? So you're asking me about Dani Parejo. The thing that I believe Parejo didn't do in this Villarreal side that he was doing with Valencia before was that this Villarreal side and the way that they're playing currently with the players that they have is a team that is much more mobile, a team that wants to play further forward and wants to kind of string the passes together as fast as they can. And what Unai Emery always does with his team is try to have a good midfield, a 4 normally in the midfield, that then they can interchange positions depending on whether the ball is going to be coming from. So it's going to be a counter-attack for the left, then perhaps Parejo can drop as a left midfielder for a while, and then kind of have Chukwueze kind of join the attack as a striker. Things like that. Parejo here at this day and age, with the players that Villarreal has, is not cutting it in my opinion. And you saw many times how they were starting a counter and he passed it back, or he passed it horizontally, or he tried to just stop it, look for somebody else. And that is where I believe Villarreal is costing a little bit. Also because in Moy Gomez, for instance, that is playing next to Parejo in the left-hand side of the midfield, he's not particularly your out-and-out winger. He's much more a volante. I don't know how to say it in English. There's not a direct translation for it, but it's a player that can play for the left, but it's not your Ansu Fati. It's not that sort of player. Valencia before had those type of players, and that is costing Villarreal as well. And that's where I believe they should go and get a player. A left winger for Villarreal would really help the entire kind of spectrum of their team improve a lot. Moin Lutz saying, Trincao should play ahead of Griezmann, I think. I honestly do believe that Trincao can do a better job there, because the thing that I saw with Griezmann today is that he was also mostly isolated to the right, which is better than the left per se, because he can kind of then go into his natural profile and shoot from the left. You know, he can kind of do his normal curler, he can attack through those areas, which is what he knows. But he's not a right winger either. He should be playing as a striker, as a central player, at least as a cam, as a center forward, as a striker, somewhere in that spine of the team he should be, not in one of the flanks. And that is where he's just struggling a lot. He's really playing bad there. And I saw him in some instances kind of invisible in a way. I'm not saying that it was a bad performance, because it really wasn't. But he just needs to be much more involved. And playing in the right winger position is not a position for him. So if Trincao can come in there and play as a right winger and do better, for the sake of the team, go ahead and give Trincao the shout. That's what I feel. That's what I feel needs to happen. Thoughts on Neto? Oh, my goodness. Neto was really sound. Neto was incredible. He was really, really good. I have to admit, Neto was sharp. He came good out of the, like whenever ¿cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? When you come out to get the ball, you know, when you have to anticipate. Neto did that perfectly. He read the game well. He came out good for crosses. He's kind of a play with the feet were also correct and were right, were sharp. He was good. He was real good, I have to admit. He was good. And I don't know whether, for instance, and this I'm going to be asking you guys, when Ter Stegen comes back, are you going to give Ter Stegen right away? Let's say Ter Stegen is fit. First game, you give Ter Stegen the position, or you would keep Neto? Because we're going to be already kind of like halfway through January when Ter Stegen comes back. And Neto there, I believe, could be already a starter per se. I don't know if you want to risk it like that, but for now, Neto is doing good, and I should keep. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Neto is doing good. He's a great goalkeeper, probably the best goalkeeper, I would say, the best substitute goalkeeper in the world. I do believe he's the best substitute goalkeeper in the world. Like, if Chelsea had Neto, they wouldn't concede 3 against West Brom. They wouldn't. Like, if Neto was playing for Chelsea would be far better. Like, Chelsea needs a player like Neto. They really do. Rodrigo Fati. all the way, man. All the freaking way. Who's Rodrigo? Oh my goodness. Rodrigo. You know, if you ask me Vinicius Jr., I will like literally ban you from the channel because people talk so much stuff about, you know, about Vinicius Jr., but Rodrigo is clearly better than Vinicius Jr. Like, like Real Madrid bought a Brazilian youngster, and then they realized that the second Brazilian youngster that they bought is way better. Vinicius is not cutting it. It really isn't cutting it. Ryder says, finally we get a clean sheet. I agree. The clean sheet is super important. Like, this clean sheet is actually a thing that we can build upon. The defense, normally we would say is shaky and all of this, but Barcelona, and I want to go to the, let me go to the, to here, like boom, 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 boom. There we go. If we take a look right here, we have the stats of the game. And as you can see, 17 shots, 5 shots. I'm sorry, it's in Spanish. I'm going to change it for the next one. But where is it here? So Barcelona conceded in total only 1 shot from Villarreal on net. On target, only one shot. That's really good. And if I'm not wrong, that shot came in the last few minutes of the game where Gerard Moreno kind of cut inside and then he shot with the left, you know? That is the only shot that was on target. Barcelona did incredible well to cover up those spaces. And it's incredible that finally we're able to do this in a way, because how many times were Barcelona getting outshot by opponents? That was such a rare sight to see, but finally it's not happening. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. As a guy that likes defending, as a guy that finds beauty in someone getting a red card for a challenge, I like that we're getting a clean sheet. I really do like that. Wins BT, yeah, but Vinicius can't even finish his breakfast. I mean, if Vinicius can actually learn how to finish in a way that Sterling kind of did, you know, Sterling when he moved first to City, my goodness, Sterling, like even now, Sterling misses so many chances. But if Vinicius can actually like learn a little bit to how to finish and actually be better in that part of his game, he can be good. But for now, like that is not good enough. I can say he's trash. Priyanush Doloy is saying, I'm surprised, but Coutinho seems redeemed. I mean, it's only one game. In my opinion, he never did anything wrong to deem to be redeemed. But he did good. He was really good today, Coutinho. He's playing centrally. He's linking up perfectly with Lionel Messi. He's really coming back and playing with De Jong, with Busquets, with Pjanic, whoever is in the pivot positions. He's finally doing a job that he was bought to do. And that makes me happy. We're playing players in their positions, except for Griezmann. But, I mean, at least if we have 10 out of our 11 players playing in positions, I'm happy for now. It's not Moreno, it's Cubo. Are you sure it was Cubo? I think it was Moreno. But I don't know. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. What else? Yeah, Lisa, Vinicius was supposed to be the next big thing. Lamau, yeah. He was supposed to be the next big thing. My goodness. Yeah, ¿cómo? Es que no entiendo. La gente piensa que Vinicius no es bueno. Y Pepita, mi amigo, y si estás viendo esto, Vinicius es caca, es malísimo. We don't need any more attackers. I honestly do believe we do not need any more attackers. Like, Depay would be just a stretch too far. I think Depay is a good player. I would like him at Barcelona, and especially because in FIFA we will finally have 2 5-star skillers. Well, Coutinho actually has 5 as well. We had 3 5-star skillers, and I like that. But apart from playing in FIFA, Depay wouldn't give anything extra to Barcelona. You know, Depay is a good player, but he wouldn't add anything to Barcelona. Henry Igdagbon. Henry, my goodness, how are you? Henry's in everything. Like every single video, Henry comments. Busquets out. Pjanic was good off the bench, and we need to hijack the Alex Telles transfer. Okay, there's many things here. Busquets out. I mean, Busquets needs to be benched. Positively benched. And I want to change now here because let's see the ratings that WhoScored had given the team. Busquets, how much did Busquets have? Busquets had 7.4. Busquets needs to be benched, honestly. Pjanic is far better at that job. And if you add to that we have Carles Aleñá now with the number 6, you know, which is a big deal, honestly. Giving Aleñá the number 6 is huge. I believe he just needs to take a lesser role. I mean, in games where we may play against a Deportivo Alaves, a team that is not going to be pressuring us up that highly, Busquets can be good because he can sit back and just kind of circulate the ball and do that, while De Jong is kind of the actual box-to-box midfielder. They can change positions there. But for games where we have teams that are demanding, like Villarreal, like, I don't know, in the Champions League, we may face a team, throw me a team, like CSK Moscow. You know, they're not an incredible team, but they have intensity. They have that kind of edge to their game. We need somebody else that can actually do the running. And Pjanic can do that. Pjanic was so fresh. Pjanic was just an extra thing that I didn't know we would get. I like that also in Pjanic. We're having a player that has a point to prove. Busquets has so many games in his legs that is just something that is killing him. Like, honestly, he needs to take a break. Like, send him on a sabbatical year and then come back for as a substitute next year. I don't know, but he needs to be benched. He needs to be benched. Okay, Hidai at Wani, I'm gonna get to you. Thoughts on Griezmann, I'm gonna get to you. But since we're in the terms of the midfielders, I'm gonna comment on Frankie. And Frankie, I already said this at the start of this review, but Frankie did good. Like, overall, in his game, he has a pass, I would say a 6. But I cannot give him a 7, for instance, because he just simply was lackluster in a way. He was lacking the concentration that we want from a player like Frankie de Jong. I don't know if it was the pressure. I don't know if it was I don't know. I honestly do not know what it was. But we saw this. Do not get us wrong. We saw a Frankie de Jong that was kind of clumsy in the second preseason game against Girona. Frankie de Jong wasn't good against Girona either. He made mistakes. I don't know what it is. Is he kind of like getting a little bit too full of himself? I'm not too sure. I love Frankie to death. Like, I already have 2 shirts with Frankie de Jong on the back. Two. I'm talking one from Ajax and one from Barca. 2. I don't have 2 Messi shirts, but I have 2 Frankie de Jong shirts. That's how much I actually like that. But but de Jong, he needs to improve. I don't know what is it with de Jong, but we have a player that we can build a team around. I know it for sure, but he just wasn't on his day. I think he needs to be a little more confident, not only about himself, but about the players that he has around him. You know, if he has Pjanic that can move a little bit more, then de Jong can actually go faster and pass the ball to him and do not get dispossessed. That's a thing that we can improve with time as we go on. But once again, we return to that name, the name of Busquets. If we have Pjanic or Aleñá that can move faster, de Jong can play there and can actually do good. One of the best games that de Jong played, if I'm not wrong, was Aleñá. And actually, de Jong spoke about Aleñá in one interview that he had and said how he much liked Aleñá because he actually moved around him. And now we have Ansu Fati here. Well, I don't have audio turned on right now for the desktop, so you can watch this one later, but I'm going to watch it later. Can I save it to watch it later? I don't know how to do this. What is this? Should Barca purchase a number 9 or should they rely on Ansu Fati? I mean, that could be a question. That is a real question. I'm going to answer it right now with you guys. And my answer is nope. Depay is pretty cool. I like one of his trap songs, but Ansu Fati is the future. Depay actually has a pretty good song, a song that I enjoy. I actually like one of his songs. not joke, but I actually like one of his songs. And I agree with that. Ansu Fati is the present and the future. Michael, Ansu Fati is crazy. No. I love this. I love that Ansu Fati is in our team. If Ansu Fati was in another team, we would spend like 200 million euros trying to get him. And he wouldn't even come to us. He would come now to, I don't know who, like Liverpool or something like that. But he's in our side, guys. He's a Masia player. He's ours. And, oh yeah, Henry. Was it you, Henry, that mentioned that we should hijack Alex Telles? I'm going to actually talk about it a bit because Alex Telles is a good player, but I don't know, honestly. Like, Jordi Alba was good. I don't know if we need a starting left back just yet. But if we, for instance, can get Alex Telles or someone of his quality in the next year or 2 years, I'm down for it. But right now, Alba should stay. And I don't think someone of his caliber, of the level of Alex Telles, would accept to be a substitute right now at Barcelona. I really wouldn't. I do not think that. Bart van de Pol, Bart, how are you, man? How are you? It's been a while since I saw you here in these locations of the channel. You were saying Eric Garcia is the perfect replacement for Piqué. He's good on the ball. He has experience in the big leagues. He's young. He has worked with Pep Guardiola. He's a real leader and played at La Masia for years. I honestly have to admit that I do like Eric Garcia a lot. And I am someone that looks at football not only for the actual kind of talent that the player have, but what they can bring to the entire system overall. And in Eric Garcia, I see a player that, for instance, him next to someone like Ansu Fati, which they are compadres, they are BFFs, they can build a dynasty at Barcelona. And that is something that I like because they are friends. And people underestimate this, but for instance, Messi and Suarez together, they were pretty good. If we had better players around them, and better coaches, and a better president, they could have done much better. But if we can have this, for instance, with a manager like Xavi, a president who could come in like Laporta or Victor Font, who knows, Eric Garcia and Ansu Fati could be the future. I said it here first. They could be the future. They could be the future. Jordi Alba is 33. Is Jordi Alba 33? Jordi Alba is not 33. We're going to prove it right now. Jordi Alba is not 33. Jordi Alba is not 33, man. Is it 33? I am not too sure. How do I check? Let me check open right now. Jordi Alba is 31. It's not 33. He's 31. So there you go, guys. There you go. It's 31. Arrow is saying, should Ricky Puig stay or leave? I think Ricky Puig should stay 100%. Like, even though Koeman is saying that, for instance, Ricky Puig is not a player that could get many minutes now, he's someone that could give us a lot for the future. Perhaps not under him, but perhaps under the next manager, he could give us a lot. Ricky Puig has to stay 100%. That is why he was saying the loan option. And honestly, I would have liked perhaps Ricky Puig to take that option. Ricky Puig can go to Ajax, for instance. He can play a season there, get minutes, whatever, and then come back. And then when we have this manager like Xavi that wants to play this 4-3-3 again, sure, Ricky Puig can start. That would be one of my ideas, for instance. But who knows? Who knows? Where do I go to the match center here? I wanted to check this, guys, because I actually want to see. So, of course, who scored here gave Ansu Fati the man of the match, which, as we know so far, is because Ansu Fati is underage and the sponsor is a beer company in Budweiser. And Budweiser is not going to give a man of the match to a 17-year-old because it's basically giving him free beer. And you know how laws are nowadays. But at 17 years of age, you cannot take a drinky. So, too bad for Ansu Fati. And here the thing that points me out here, I want to say Griezmann. Griezmann. I don't know what to do with Griezmann, honestly. I really do not know what to do about Griezmann, guys. Because he's an amazing player. He's someone that I want to see succeed. But in all fairness, like, I don't know how we're gonna get the best out of him. I really don't know. People are talking a lot about Upamecano. People are talking about Zinchenko. Zinchenko is good. His girlfriend is amazing. She's pretty. But I don't think he's like quality. I think he's good, but he's not quality to be a starting left back for Barca. I really don't think that. What else are you saying? Felix, who are you talking about in injury prone? I guess you're talking Alba? I don't know. If Jordi plays like this all season, do we need to buy a right back this window? I mean, I guess that you mean a left back because Jordi Alba is not a right back. So I guess that you mean a left back. So if you mean a left back, then no, we do not need a left back. And on top of this, I'm saying that Junior Firpo should stay. I think Junior Firpo should stay because right now there are not too many left backs of his age, of his projection that we could get. And basically what we already have, we bought him for 18 million euros, I think. And that's a pretty good deal. Keep Junior Firpo, man. Keep Junior Firpo, Keep him. Why sell Junior Firpo? I don't get that. I honestly don't get that. Do you see Richard Esio is saying, do you see Fati starting over Dembélé for the rest of the season? Yep. Mm-hmm. I do see Fati starting over Dembele. People out. I love this, guys. I love this, guys. Well, while I'll wait for the stream to catch up, I wanna ask you some few things, guys, of this game because I actually have some questions of my own that I kind of want Barca fans to ask it with me. And one of them is, with what would you do if Griezmann doesn't work out? Would you sell Griezmann? Or would you wait for Messi to leave if he leaves and then keep Griezmann? Because then Griezmann in the middle could be better, but then he would be like 31. So I don't know. What would you do with Griezmann? What would you do with Griezmann? That is my question. What would you do with Griezmann? Was Fati our striker today? Is saying Shazam. No. Ansu Fati was our left winger. But simply because of the way that we play, all of our team shifts position. Actually, Fati is a player up front that doesn't do that much. Fati kind of stays always in the left wing because he actually needs that. He has the pace in him. He has the profile to come in and shoot from the right. So we need Fati to stay as a left winger because that's simply the best way that we can have him develop. Then later on, as he grows and Messi leaves or gets older or Coutinho gets older and leaves, then he can come into the center and play more of a center forward because in quality in Ansu Fati there is. So we do not need to rush him. Playing as a left winger, having a simple role of just running in behind and scoring for now is fine. We are forgetting that Ansu Fati is only 17. 17 years old, guys. When I was 17, I was skipping school of classes of English, of all because I hated my teacher. And I was failing maths exams. But I was doing pretty good in art and all of those things. But at 17 years of age, that's what I was doing. Ansu Fati at 17 years of age is scoring goals at the Camp Nou. So we just need to relax, guys. He's 17 years of age. There's so much of Ansu Fati. When I am in a job, I'm like working 24/7 or somewhere near future like that. Ansu Fati is just going to be 19. Like, I am 3 years older than Ansu Fati, and 3 years is a lot of time. There's so much time in Ansu Fati. Let's do this. When I'm 30, Ansu Fati is going to be in his peak at 27. There's so much time with Ansu Fati, so let's just keep it him. Let's just keep it there, Swap Anita. Anita. Me gusta tu idea, Anita. I like your idea, Anita. I really like your idea. Oh, let's put there Ansu Fati. Let's save it there. I like your idea, Anita. If we can swap Griezmann for Lautaro Martinez, that could be a good thing to do. That could be a good thing to do. And well, guys, how much time have I been doing this? How long is this review been for? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Is there a way for me to check? Wait, give me a minute. I want to check if I can. Let me go back to the broadcast. Is there a way for me to check how long has this video been? How do I check this? YouTube keeps. I hate YouTube, man. They keep changing their things, their kind of dashboard. It's 40 minutes long. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be leaving at 45. Okay, 45 minutes. So we have 4 more minutes for you to give us your questions. 4 more minutes. So I'm gonna stay here with you guys and answer all of the remaining questions. Okay, Richard Esoi is saying, sell Griezmann if he still plays this way once Messi leaves. Give him a chance under new coach Xavi. I can vouch to that. I like that. I like that idea. Hidey Anwani. Can you say me how to pronounce your name? Because is it Hidey, like day, like you say day in English, or how is it? Because I would like your idea on how to pronounce your name, because I don't like saying names wrong. In your opinion, do we have a chance of winning the UCL? Also, what's the probability of us winning the brace this year? The brace, I suggest La Liga and La Copa del Rey. I honestly think there's a much better chance in Barcelona winning La Liga than Real Madrid. I do think that. But I think if there's a trophy for us to win is La Liga. La Copa del Rey and the UCL are a little bit more difficult, and let me explain myself. The reason that I am saying this is because in La Copa del Rey and Champions League, we have knockout competitions. And in knockout competitions, one, anything can happen. And two, we have a younger squad. A younger team that can tend to do more mistakes. A younger, like basically overall squad, once again, sorry for repeating myself, that can just not be prepared for those big moments. Because if you take a look at the veterans that we have in our team, players that have played in Champions League finals, we have Piqué, we have Ter Stegen, we have Jordi Alba, we have Busquets, that, as I'm saying, Busquets is not a starter, so I'm not counting him. We have Messi, and I guess Antoine Griezmann, in a way, because he's actually done things, and Coutinho. We have 6 players. If we want to rotate, we bring Dest, a youngster. We bring Eric Garcia, a youngster. We bring Araujo, a youngster. We bring in Firpo, a youngster. We bring Ansu Fati, a youngster, but Ansu Fati is pedigree, man. He said everything else. What I'm saying is that we have such a young squad overall that I don't know we are going to be able to cut it for those Champions League games. So I believe that for now, we should kind of just stay calm and focus on La Liga. As soon as we can get these players to start getting that pedigree through Dest getting better and earning the right back position for his own, a new center back coming in, a new midfielder, that's when I believe Barcelona are going to be peaking and getting the Champions League. Is there a chance for us to get semifinals? Hell yeah. Like, we could get semifinals. We could go to the final. I'm not saying we cannot go to the final, but it's simply going to be a thing of whether these youngsters are going to be able to match the stature, the occasion. And who knows, maybe they will, but maybe they won't, or maybe they will in the future. What else do we have? Altino Ululi is saying, do you see Umtiti doing a comeback this season? No. I think that Umtiti is out the door because we have Lenglet and Piqué, and we have Araujo, and we have Eric Garcia coming in probably. 100. I think it's kind of like, it's almost going to happen. Eric Garcia is going to be signing as a first teamer. So if he does that, then there's one less spot for Umtiti. Araujo has been signed and kind of signed in the dotted line as a Barcelona B player. And what does that mean? That means that he can play both as a Barca B player and as a Barcelona first teamer. The reason that they probably did this was because they don't know what to do with Umtiti. If Umtiti stays at the club, which could be a possibility, then I could potentially see him not getting as many game times as someone like Eric Garcia. Because in Umtiti, you need a player that needs to get back to the best. You need a player that needs to get back to consistency because of the injuries that he has. One of the main things that a lot of people talk about players with injuries is that they are just like, every time they come in, they get injured. But the reason because of that is they need to play. Their bodies need to adapt. They need to strengthen their muscles so that they don't get those injuries. And Umtiti, he's simply not going to get the game time to do so. And if we're going to be giving game time to someone like Umtiti, I'd much rather give it to Araujo and Eric Garcia because they are younger. So Umtiti is there in a position where he simply just doesn't fit into the plans. So if we're going to be signing Memphis Depay, which looks also likely, Umtiti could be added in that deal. There's been reports of that happening. So I'm thinking, honestly, so far, that Umtiti is probably going to leave. And there's no way for him to do a comeback season. He was incredible for us. He should have won a Champions League with us, like basically Semedo and all of those players. And he's a good player at heart. But at Barcelona, I just don't think there is time for him to get better. Senator Auguli saying, please, Vinicius is absolutely trash. Just runs. Yeah. We're talking about Vinicius again. My goodness. What else? Why are we going for Garcia? He's no better than Todibo. I believe, I agree that perhaps they are the same level, but the thing that I believe the club are seeing is that in Eric Garcia, they have a youngster that is from La Masia and can actually become kind of like a face of the club. Todibo doesn't really have that. As much as I like Todibo, and honestly, fun fact, I was born on the 31st of December of 1999. Todibo was born on the 30th of December of 1999, and Trincao was born on the 29th of December of 1999. So we are basically blood brothers. Basically. And Todibo was born in Suriname, which is also in South America. So we're kind of close. Something else, guys? Any last questions? I'm already thinking about ending the stream. Once again, I'm going to wrap this up probably. And I'm gonna be saying it that I don't know. I just love this game. I really think that Barcelona can improve a lot. I'm gonna be trying to find new things to do in the stream for us, all of us together. Perhaps we can do kind of watch highlights. No, because copyright. But you know what I mean. Chiellini at 35 is 10 times better than Garcia. I mean, yeah, yeah. Like Chiellini, of course, is gonna be better than Garcia at this age. Okay, last question I'm gonna say from Altino. Last question. Okay, stop spamming. Last question. Do you see Conrad breaking through the team this season? Look, if Ansu Fati plays like that, and if Dembele plays like he's currently playing, and the Pai comes in, no. But he could play in Copa del Rey. He could play games like that. Games where he would actually get the chance to break through, in the sense that more Barca fans worldwide will know him. When he actually breaks through and becomes a staple for the entirety of football, that's probably 1 or 2 years ahead of him. But he's a player that I want to keep. I think that we have a good American contingency here with Dest and Conrad. And especially Conrad was amazing in preseason. So he's a player to look out for, and Conrad needs to stay. So with that, guys, I want to be saying thank you so much for tuning in with us. It's been great to have you back here on the channel. As you know, I've been doing a little bit of changes. I'm doing more analysis type of videos, which are kind of takes a little bit longer to do because I just like them a little bit more. And since I have less time because of university and it's my final year and I need to do stuff like that, well, I'm going to be uploading, as you know, videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there are bonus videos for matches like this one, which was a live stream, and news. So breaking news, we sign a player and stuff like that. Bonus videos like that. But it's not only going to be out of Barcelona. I'm going to be doing these live streams for most Barcelona games. But if there's, for instance, let's say a Barcelona game on Sunday and there's, I don't know, Liverpool versus Manchester City on Saturday, I'm going to be doing both games, hopefully, because I just want to talk about more football, because that is what got me into YouTube on the first place. So if you want to join us for more games that just simply Barcelona, you can stay tuned to the channel. If you like Barcelona, well, you're here already. And also, if you want to watch news and stuff like that daily, which is something that I was doing before and I'm no longer going to do, there are great channels out there that are also doing that. For instance, Talk FCB, you'll know that. Probably you're subscribed to me, you're subscribed to Jamie already. So you can go and talk to Jamie. You can go on his channel. He does daily videos, which are pretty good. Now he has a second channel. Like, how is the kid able to do 2 channels? He's impressive, honestly. I'm really proud of how he has been able to do. Like, I started YouTube and he was like, I think he had like double, I don't know, how do I say this? Like he was like at 70K, kind of like that. And then he's done just amazing, honestly. And there's also Barca Media, which is, I've talked to Barca Media with Kevin, and yeah, he's an amazing dude as well. His channel is also daily like that. So if you like that content, you can go and check it out. But for analysis, for documentaries, for videos that actually get your brain ticking and get kind of more involved and know more about football, analysis, video essays, stuff like that, you can come here to us, and I'm going to be trying to do the best that I can to make those minutes, those 10, 15 minutes of your time worth a while. So yeah, see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Hope you have enjoyed. And now, the typical ending to a stream where I keep talking just because I have to confirm that I want to end it. Bye. Hope you have enjoyed. Bye-bye. Take care.